part 1, we talked about the independent moving parts established by the first scene of Star Wars Episode 1. The Jedi Council, the Trade Federation, the Senate, the Naboo all have independent roles and independent interests as of Scene 1. Now, just to be clear, so we make sure to get this concept down, macro storytelling is the world, how many independent elements function on their own that interact with the main characters and other elements. These can be institutions, governments, supernatural forces, rules, or other characters. But the point is that they are independent. In order to drive this concept of macro versus micro storytelling home, we are going to contrast Scene 1 from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, with Scene 1 of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So the best place to start is at the start. The opening crawl, Episode 1. First sentence, turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The focus is the world. The Galactic Republic is mentioned first, followed by the Trade Federation, the Naboo, then generically mentions our two characters, specifically defining them by their roles in the world. Now let's look at Episode 7's crawl. Luke Skywalker has vanished. It's a fan-favorite character first. The entire world of the movie is described as a function of one person, the fan-favorite character. The First Order is looking for Luke. The Republic is mentioned in passing as a supporter of Leia, who embodies the Resistance, who is looking for Luke. Leia's pilot goes to Jakku looking for Luke. The difference here is monumental. One builds a world, the other states a premise. And it doesn't stop there. In Episode 1, characters demonstrate the independent interests of their party. So Jedi have a passive desire to resolve the dispute. Per orders from the Jedi Council, they are motivated by duty and are not personally invested yet. The Trade Federation wants to maintain the blockade, avoid legal entanglements, appease the hologram for their own financial interests. They demonstrate greed, immorality, and a willingness to deceive the hologram for their benefit. Congress is far off debating the issue and is a source of frustration and endless debate. The Jedi Council has a relationship with the Senate, irrespective of whatever the Jedi are doing or want to do. The Naboo is a monarchy, and the Queen wants the blockade resolved for the benefit of her people. All of this is established in Scene 1, and all of these things will still exist with the same independent interests by the end of the movie. For Episode 7, the only actually distinct interests are between the First Order and Poe. Jakku as an entity has no interests and no personality. The old guy has the exact same interests as Poe. Captain Phasma has the exact same interests as Kylo Ren. Hux has the same interests as Kylo Ren. Functionally, there are only two moving parts, generic good and bad, until Finn defects, and this isn't even macro world storytelling, this is micro character storytelling. Even the trader on Jakku, who deals with Rey and offers a bunch of portions for the droid, he was generically working on behalf of the First Order, not specifically working on his own behalf. But wait, there's more! What? In discussing the functioning of the macro world, you can look at whether the characters fit their roles in the world. So for Episode 1, the Jedi fill a particular role in the world. The Jedi act like Jedi in that world. They're somber, they're stoic, they act like they've been working together historically, and they act in accordance with duty. Remember, we're just talking about Scene 1 so far. The Trade Federation representatives fill a particular role in the world. They're trying to abuse the system. They act like Trade Federation representatives. They're concerned about the laws, if it puts them in danger, but not otherwise. They try to save their own skins at whatever cost. They're repeatedly dishonest, and they placate the Queen. Now let's look at Episode 7 and the roles and how people would be expected to act as part of their role in the world. Finn doesn't act like a stormtrooper. Stormtroopers are capable of mass slaughter like they do it every day, having been trained from birth to do that. However, Finn is a wisecracking buddy character like Poe. He makes jokes, he instantly cares about Poe and wants to save Rey. He had never had an issue before, he happily killed stormtroopers just like him, and the only negative characteristics he actually exhibits are lying and wanting to run away, but not. This is as a result of a lifetime of indoctrination by a fascist terror organization and perfect compliance with evil directives all the way up until this last one. The same thing goes for Rey. She's alone and abandoned, struggling to eat every day, with inadequate shelter and no friends, but well-adjusted and good-natured and extremely capable under pressure. This is Abrams trying to play tennis without the net. The Phantom Menace world has independent moving parts and momentum, with a genuine world that begged for good micro-storytelling. The Force Awakens is a child's daydream, with no interest in the world, just a need to hang drapes on a superficial, generic plot with superficial, generically likable characters.